Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. So let me just check once. Okay. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology and Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. So this channel, you can find the link for this channel in the description box. So you can go to the description, click on the link and join the channel for updates regarding the classes. Okay, so also we conduct special classes on Unacademy platform, so you can learn from your favorite educator for free. Engage with the educator via poll, so that means we'll be conducting a quiz also, and at the end we'll be sharing the leaderboard so that you can know your ranks and compete with your friends. Clear your doubts in the live special class. Okay, so there is a question tab, so using that question tab, so you have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session, so you can use this option. For the top special classes, you can visit the link in the description. Okay, so now Unacademy subscription features, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses will be there, like different educators will come up with the different courses, so you will have access to all the courses once you take the subscription. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, so that is Unacademy platform. Then there is regular doubt clearing session done, so that is after about every 3 sessions. The fourth session, okay, so this is a fourth session, so fourth session will be your doubt clearing session. Okay, so any doubt you have related to the topics that are covered, so you can clear your doubts in this session. Also it can be an answer writing session. Let's say you do not have any doubt, so we can discuss some question answers as well. Okay, then complete syllabus will be covered, mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, the practice tests are given, as well as live test series is given. So you will have access to batch courses also, like so there is a batch in Hindi, there is a batch in English, so you will have access to all the batches once you take the subscription. Okay, so there is a daily practice section, weekly mock test series, live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series will also be there. So you will have access to all of this once you take a subscription. So now you can save up to 30% on your Unacademy ICSE Board Plus subscription. So we have a like basically since today is the last day, like tomorrow onwards, that is 20th onwards, so these are the prices that you can see. So these are the new prices. Okay, so now if you're planning to take the subscription, so this is the best day, like today is the best day, so this is the low, like today is the lowest price that you can get on Unacademy platform for the subscription. So for 12 months it is just 12k. So if you're planning for the subscription, so you can go for this, and you will be saving up to 5,250, so that is for 12 months. Okay, on the subscription. So now since this is the very beginning of your class 9, so you can also go with 24 months as well, so that is including class 10. So class 9 and class 10, so you can also go with this. So if you're planning for this, so basically the new price, so that is from tomorrow, it is 28,000 750, but if you are subscribing now, so you will be just paying 20,000. So with this, there is this offer which is available, like you will be saving up to 8,750. Okay, so if you are planning for the subscription, so this is the best day that you can go with, and the referral code is VANIYT. So this is my code. So with this referral code, you will be getting 20% discount on the subscription. Okay, Alright then, so let's get started. So that is about the tissues. So since we are going to discuss about the meristematic tissue in today's session, okay, so we'll discuss about the meristematic tissue, like how exactly on what basis we are classifying this meristematic tissue. Okay, so let's see this. Now when we mention that the meristematic tissue is present, okay, so this is basically tissue in general when we mention. So let's start with that. So tissue in general when we mention, so basically this is a group of a cell. Okay, so this is a group of cell. Okay, so this is group of cell we can mention. All right, and another thing is basically, so they are structurally they are similar. Okay, so similar in structure. Okay, and also the function, so performing the same function. So similar in structure and function. So what is the function? So functions, they are performing the same function. So function is, it's like all of them are same functions, like same function is performed. All right, so then in that case, now this we call as a tissue. So now how do we study a tissue? So we are studying a tissue by the anatomy process. Okay, so what exactly is anatomy? So internal structural study. Okay, so this is a internal structural study. Okay, so this is internal structure is studied. So that is after taking a dissection. So we'll be taking a dissection and we'll be studying this. So that we call as anatomy. Okay, so internal structure is studied. So that is by taking a dissection. So that we call as anatomy. Okay, so morphology is what? Morphology is just the external, just the observation, like a particular plant is there now. Okay, so you are not making you are not making any cut into the plant body. So morphology when we mention, so it is just the external study. So now in order for you all to study a tissue, so first you need to dissect a plant. Okay, so then you will observe the group of cells that are there. So basically the tissue when we are studying, so it is actually the anatomy that we are looking at. Morphology is basically the external study. Okay, so externally we are observing like what exactly is present. So that is a morphology. Okay, so this can be with respect to now if I say human body. Okay, so externally we are studying a human body, so that is a morphology. Now we need to study the internal organs also, like stomach is there, intestine is there. So we are not dissecting that. Okay, so internal organs as well as the external organ are studied just by looking, not by dissecting. So that can be a morphology. So externally, just the external observation. Anatomy when we mention, so we are just cutting, like be it an internal organ or external organ. So we are making a cut and then we are observing a tissue arrangement. So be it in case of a plant, be it in case of a human. So basically we are dissecting and studying, so that can be the anatomy. So now in order for you all to study a particular tissue, so that is a meristematic tissue, so you need to have an internal structure of a plant, like what is the cell type, like many cells are arranged, like they are forming a tissue. Then you will be looking at how exactly leaf formation occurs, or how exactly stem formation occurs, how exactly root formation occurs. So all these different structural arrangements, so we'll be studying in details only after the dissection. So that comes under the anatomy. So let's have a look at this, the tissues now. Okay, so now when we classify this tissue, so that means this is anatomy itself, like you can observe a tissue only after you dissect it. So now here you are seeing, so this is just the external study, like epithelial tissue is it, so you can just see that, but you don't know what exactly is inside. Okay, so now to know what exactly is inside, so you need to go for the anatomy. So that is the dissection. Okay, so you need to go for the dissection, and only after that you can see the different tissues that are arranged, like what exactly is the type of arrangement that you can see. Okay, so now here you can see meristematic tissue. So let's see this. Now when we classify a plant, okay, so this is for a plant tissues. Okay, so this is for a plant tissue. which you will make a dissection in the root. Okay, so you are, let's say you are dissecting a root or maybe a shoot. Okay, so dissecting a root or it can be a shoot. So we are dissecting and we are observing in that case. So now plant tissues, there are mainly two types that you can find. Okay, so one is, you know, the meristematic tissue. Okay, so one is meristematic tissue you can find. Okay, and the other one is which one? So arising from the meristematic tissue itself, so you can see there is a permanent tissue. Okay, so there is a permanent tissue formation also you can see. Okay, so now the question is, like, how exactly, you know, the meristematic tissue is classified, or how exactly this meristematic tissue is giving rise to a permanent tissue. Okay, so we always study that yes, meristematic tissue is the one which gave rise to a permanent tissue. Okay, and this permanent tissue is not dividing. Okay, so that means this has got the capacity of cell division. Okay, so this will undergo cell division, whereas permanent tissue, when we mention, so this does not undergo cell division. So there is no cell division in this case. Okay, but what exactly does it do? So it is not like, you know, the permanent tissue is completely useless, like, you know, it is not doing cell division, so it is of no use. No. Okay, so, you know, it does a function. So function is that hi Shainan, good evening. Yeah, so it does a function of, you know, the storage function is done. All right, then it performs the main function, that is photosynthesis. Okay, so it performs the photosynthesis function. Okay, then it also does the secretion, like, you know, many things like enzymes are secreted. So now, you know, let's not talk about enzyme. So like, you know, some plants will produce a rubber, so some plants you can see glue production, so you can see on that is basically a cell sap. Okay, so that means, so certain some or the other thing, like, you know, secretion is occurring. So that can be with respect to enzyme, you know, rubbery material, elastic material, or we can say that some glue like material. So all that is being produced. So that is a function of a permanent tissue. So anyway, it is not doing a function of cell division. So who has looked after the cell division then? So cell division is done by the meristematic tissue. Okay, so this is the tissue which does the cell division function, or otherwise, you know, permanent tissue does all these functions. So now we classify this meristematic tissue. Okay, so we'll be studying this in detail. Now how are we classifying this meristematic tissue? Let's see this. Okay, so I'll just write it here. So now this is with respect to what? This is with respect to meristematic tissue. Okay, so meristematic tissue classification is done. So that is done based on the time of formation and based on the location. So this is classified as, okay, so classified, you know, classification is done. So classified based on, so this is based on what? So this one is classified based on time of formation. Okay, so this is based on time of formation. So one second. Yeah, so this is based on time of formation. We are classifying a meristematic tissue. Okay, also we are classifying a meristematic tissue based on the location. Okay, so based on the location also this is classified. So now based on the time of formation, so let's have a look at this. So now, you know, based on time of formation, like when it is formed exactly. So if it is formed first, okay, so now this one let's take, so based on time of formation. Okay, so this is based on time of formation. So we can say that this is formed like let's say the one which is formed first, so that we call as the primary meristem. Okay, so primary meristem is basically the one which is formed first. Okay, so this is formed first. All right, then again based on the time of formation itself, so this can be classified as a secondary meristem also. Okay, so secondary meristem itself can also be called as a lateral meristem. So this can also be called as a lateral meristem. Okay, so this is the classification that you can find. So that is based on the time of formation, like when exactly it formed, or based on the the location. So let's discuss about the location as well. So I'll just write the location here. Okay, so now meristematic tissue is classified so based on location. Okay, so based on location, so we'll be classifying this as the apical meristem. So there is apical meristem, then you can find intercalary meristem. Okay, so this is the intercalary meristem, and one more is a lateral meristem. Okay, so this is based on the location, like where exactly this is present. So based on that we will be classifying these meristematic tissue. Okay, so there is a apical meristem, there is a intercalary meristem, and then you can see there is a lateral meristem. Okay, so this is a lateral meristem. So these are the different types of meristematic tissue you can find. So now where exactly this is present? Okay, so now if this is present at the tip, okay, so this one is present at the tips. Okay, so tip of root, tip of shoot if it is present, so that we call as apical meristem. So if it is present at the intercalary meristem, like so that is at the nodes and the internodes. So nodes and internodes, so this can be present. So this can be found at the mature parts of a plant body. Okay, so which will basically help in the girth increase. So let's see this. Okay, so now you can see this part. Just a second. Yeah, so now you can see this part. So tissues. Okay, so tissues, when we mention, so we are classifying that tissue. Okay, so that is as a meristematic tissue and also as a permanent tissue. Okay, so here now you can see that the meristematic tissue is classified into primary tissue. Okay, so this is classified into secondary meristem. So this is what now. So this one is based on the location. Okay, so sorry, not location, based on time of formation. Okay, so this classification we have done based on the time of formation. Okay, and the other one, so you can see the other one here. So there is a primary meristem. Okay, so primary meristem we will classify, so that is based on apical meristem and then a intercalary meristem. Okay, so that means now based on a location we are classifying. So this can also be, so let's take a different color for this. Okay, so now you can see this primary meristem. Okay, and then a secondary meristem. So this is for what? So this is for the based on time of formation. So now you can see this part. So I'll just round it with a different color. So now this part, what you see here, so this can be with respect to time of formation. So this is the apical meristem, and then you can see there is a intercalary meristem. So these are the different types of meristem. So this is a location now. Okay, so this you can find at the mature part. So let's go on writing this part. Okay, so here itself I have already written. So that is the apical meristem. Okay, then there is the intercalary and a lateral meristem. So let's just show you, show you a diagram and then explain. So now there is a root tip. Okay, so this can be root and shoot tip. Okay, so at root and a shoot tip, so which meristem do you find? So it is the apical meristem that you can find at the root and the shoot tip. Okay, so this is the apical meristem. So let me just draw a root tip and a shoot tip now. So this one is now a root. Okay, sorry, this is a shoot. Okay, so I'm just taking it as a green. Okay, so this is what? So you can find a shoot there. Okay, and here at the shoot you can find many of the cells here. Okay, so this is the tip of the shoot. So this one is at it as it is present at the tip. Okay, so as you can see this is present at the tip. So we can call this tip now this is the tip. So this is the shoot tip. Okay, and here what do you find? So this is the apical meristem. Okay, so this is the apical meristem. So this part. All right. So I'll just label this. Now we'll see the root tip as well. Just a second. Okay. So now let's say this is a shoot tip now. Okay. Root tip now. Okay. So tip of the root is also having a meristematic tissue. Okay. So you can find a meristematic tissue there at the shoot tip. So now this shoot tip, what is there? So you will find a different meristematic tissue. So here this is also a apical meristem. So why do we call it as apical? Apices is basically a tip itself. So whenever you find a structure, like whenever you find the meristematic tissue at the tips, okay, so that is always a apical meristem. So now this is what, so this classification is based on the location. Okay, so based on the location we have classified a meristematic tissue, which is basically a root and a shoot tip. Okay, just a second. So let me just check. Okay, so now here in this case, just a second, I'll just check this. Yeah. Okay, so now here in this case, let's have a look at the other meristem. So that is, the intercalary meristem. So in case of intercalary meristem, you can find, one second. Yeah, so in case of intercalary meristem, so what exactly is present? So now this is a root tip as well as a shoot tip. Hi Avinash, good evening. So Avinash is here. All right. Okay, so now at the now this is apical meristem. So let's have a look at the intercalary. Okay, so now as we are going to discuss about the intercalary, so this is coming from the apical meristem itself. So in that case, let's see this part. So now here you can see there is a shoot tip. So let's say this is a shoot tip. So now as the growth occurs, so this tip goes on growing. Okay, so this tip goes on growing. So there is a newly formed meristematic tissue that you can find. So this is a newly formed meristematic tissue. Okay, now while the division occurs, you can still find, so there is actually a tissue that you can find. So that is in between. So let's say, so there is still some tissue that is remaining at this part. Okay, so now this part where there is still this part, like tissue is remaining. So let's say here a tissue might be remaining which is not completely terminated or differentiated into permanent tissue. So in that case, these remnants of the meristematic tissue which arise, like which form the tip here, so there are remnants tissues, like some remaining tissues you can find. So these remaining tissues from the apical meristem, what is them? So that we call as the intercalary meristem. Okay, so this is as the growth of a plant occurs. Okay, so there is still some tissue remaining by the side. Okay, so now this tissue which is remaining, so this one is going to form a node. Okay, or in certain cases it can even form a leaf structure like this. So there can be leaf formation occurring from these parts. So that we call as intercalary. Okay, so intercalary can give rise to node formation. So that is bud formation can occur. So there can be leaf formation. So there can be flower formation. So in certain parts the tendril. Okay, so tendril formation, the branch formation. Okay, so all that is possible. So basically let's see this part. So you can see the classification here. So in this classification you can clearly see that under the category of primary meristem itself we have apical and intercalary, where both of these are responsible for increase in the plant height. Okay, so increase in plant height you can see, so that is mainly because of the primary meristem, or we can say apical meristem or intercalary meristem. Now the other one is present, so that is the secondary or the lateral meristem. So now this is based on the time, or time of formation. We are classifying it as a primary. So primary is the one which is formed first. Okay, so secondary when we mention, so this is formed later on. Okay, so first this is formed, so arising from this only you can find a secondary meristem, which we can also call as a lateral meristem. So why do we call lateral meristem? Because as the growth occurs here again, so while the growth was occurring, so there was still some tissue that was left in here. Okay, so now this tissue is actually you can find in the mature parts of a plant, like stem might be there, so a thickened root might be there. Okay, so in mature parts of a plant you can find a lateral meristem. Okay, so this is a lateral meristem, and we already saw that this is responsible for increase in plant height. Okay, that is apical and intercalary. So any guess that you can make, like what exactly lateral meristem does? Yes. Yes, Avinash has idea on this, like what exactly does the lateral meristem does? So what is, like whether it is increasing the height or whether it is increasing the width of a plant, like girth of a plant. So what might be the role of lateral meristem? Because these cells which are here, like these are meristematic tissues. Okay, so they will go on dividing. So there is a cell division that you can see. So now here again a set of a cell is there. Okay, so this is a set of a cell which you can find. Okay, so this will go on dividing. So that means you can see here there is an increase in girth you can find. Okay, so increase in girth of a plant, or we can also say that width of a plant is increased by the lateral meristem. Okay, so lateral meristem here, so I'll just erase this part. Yeah, so now you see this is the lateral meristem. Okay, so lateral meristem is the one which is increasing, so this will help in the increase in girth of a plant. Okay, so increase in girth, or we can also write it as a width. Okay, so width of a plant is going to increase, that is because of lateral meristem, and increase in plant height, so that you can see because of the apical meristem and intercalary meristem. So let's see this. Okay, so now primary meristem, so this is formed in the early life. Okay, so this forms the primary plant body. So that is shoot meristem might be there, root meristem might be there. So basically it is forming the primary plant body, like any tip might be there, like any young and which is basically further developing. So that is going to form the primary meristem, like the primary plant body. Now secondary or lateral meristem when we mention, so this you can find in case of mature region, like mature regions. Okay, so what is that mature region? So basically it can be a cambium. So now let's say there is a stem. Okay, so this is a stem. So if we take a cross section of a stem, okay, so now we'll be able to see like this. Okay, so this is the cut part. So outermost layer being the epidermal layer. Okay, so in the center you can find a xylem. Okay, so this is a xylem. So surrounding this xylem you can find a phloem. Okay, then you can also see there are many parenchymatous cells. So this is surrounding this, you can find many of the parenchymatous cells. Okay, then you can find collenchymatous cell. So support is provided there, so many layers of protection. So sclerenchyma cells you can find, so that is on the outermost along with the epidermal. Okay, so here, so parenchyma, collenchyma, xylem, phloem. So this is we call as a vascular cambium. So vascular cambium is nothing but, so it is having a xylem and a phloem, along with that certain other, like parenchyma, collenchyma, which you can find. So this you can find. Now this part you can find in a mature region. So here you can find a meristematic tissue. I'll just change the color. So this part you can find a meristematic tissue, which will help in the increase in the girth of a plant. Like plant is going on getting widened, so that is mainly because of the lateral meristem. Okay, and you can see there is an increase in height. Okay, so height increase occurs, so that is mainly because of the apical and intercalary, or otherwise the girth one. So here the vascular cambium, the core cambium are the examples. So for this, all the tips like root tip, shoot tip can be the examples for this particular primary meristem. So let's have a look at some of the questions. Okay, so now what is the small structure present on axils of a leaf called? Any idea? Okay, so what is this small structure present on axils of leaves called? So now you can see here is this one. Okay, so this structure is present here. So there is one more structure here. Maybe this color is not visible. So let me just change the color. So this might be visible. Yeah, so now there is a particular structure. So that we call as a axillary bud. Okay, so what is axillary bud? A leftover shoot meristem. Okay, so this is an intercalary type. So that cells in the axils of a leaf. So this can form a branches. So this can form a flower. Okay, so that is basically a intercalary meristem is the leftover meristem from the tip, like apical meristem. So this intercalary meristem is the one which is giving rise to a flower or maybe the branches. Okay, so now did you know, so the grass contain intercalary meristem. So this is with respect to grass, due to which they can regenerate when grazed by the herbivores, like when herbivores, like basically cow, okay, so any of the plant eating animals. Okay, so when the herbivores are there, so they usually go for this leaf. Okay, so now this is taken by the herbivore, like this is eaten by the herbivore. So again from this part and in this part and this part, so basically you can see a leaf that is coming. Okay, so there is a leaf formation that you can see from these notes. So this leaf formation we can see, so leaf is being formed again. So why? So that is reason is there is a intercalary meristem. Okay, so intercalary meristem is a leftover meristem that you can find from the tip meristem, that is the apical meristem, which can form a leaf again. So that is basically the one which is forming or regenerating the leaf when it is again grazed by a herbivore. Okay, so let's have a look at some questions. Which among the following is not correct about the primary and the secondary meristematic tissue? So you can see this question, all of you. So which among the following is not correct about primary or a secondary meristematic? Yes, I can to see. Okay, so let's see this. So primary meristem rises at the early stage of a plant and comprises of apical and intercalary. So what they have said here, they have said not correct. Okay, so you need to go for the one which is not correct here. So primary meristem arises at the arises at the early stage of a plant and comprises of apical and intercalary meristem. Okay, then next one is secondary meristem rises at the later stage of a plant. Okay, and comprises of the lateral meristem. Then apical meristem is present at tips, that is of root and also shoot. So also helps in the increase of the length. Okay, so this is there. And other one intercalary meristem helps in the increase in the girth of a plant, so which is the incorrect one here. Any of you? So this is right, because you can see the primary meristem arising at the early stage. Okay, so this is right. Secondary meristem is mentioned, so that means they have said that it consists of a lateral meristem, so this is the right one. Okay, then apical meristem is not present, it is present at the tip of a root and a shoot is mentioned, increase in length, so this is also correct. So only option which is wrong is this one. Okay, So intercalary meristem helps in the increase of girth is mentioned. So it is not the girth. So this is actually the length, or we can say just write it as a height also. Okay. So height is going to increase but not the girth. So this is the incorrect one. So moving on to next one. Okay. So a branch of biology. Okay. So that deals with the internal structure and parts of an organism. So this is called as an anatomy. Okay. So here it is given true or false. So which is right, which is true, which is false. No idea. So like anatomy, when we mention, so this anatomy is basically you will be dissecting. Okay. So dissection is done and observation, like dissection, like dissecting and observing is done here. Okay. So this is dissecting and observing. So that means so you will be studying internal structure and parts of an organism by dissecting them. So it is true. Okay. So moving on to next one. So which among the following is incorrect about tissues in a plant? Okay. So a cluster of cells. In just a second, I'll drink some water. Okay. So let's have a look at this question. Which among the following is incorrect about tissues in a plant? Okay, so there are tissues in a plant. So now what they are saying, so it is incorrect. Alright, so a cluster of cells that have a common origin and work together to achieve a specific function. Okay, so this is the statement given, and next statement, so this is A. Okay, so next is B. So B is what? A plant tissue varies from that of an animal because they vary in their function and a character. Okay, so this is with respect to the variation that you can find with respect to animal and a plant cell. So third option is, in plant there are two types of tissue, so that is namely the meristematic and a permanent tissue. Okay, then fourth one says that the secondary meristematic tissue comprises of sclerenchyma, collenchyma, parenchyma and epidermis. So what they have said, so you need to go with the incorrect one. So yes, can you guys mention which is the incorrect one here? Any of you? So which statement is incorrect? Any idea? Okay, so this is the one. So that is secondary meristematic tissue comprises of sclerenchyma, collenchyma and parenchyma, which is absolutely wrong because all of these are placed under the permanent tissue. Okay, so these are all permanent tissues. So in that you can find simple permanent tissue. So all of these are simple permanent tissues. Okay, so these are all simple. So now this is not a meristematic tissue. So this is the wrong statement which is mentioned. So let's go to the next question. Which among the following statement is incorrect about the meristematic tissue? Okay, so again they have asked the incorrect statement itself. So meristematic tissues are quite small, which allows large number of cell division. Okay, so here what is the question? Meristematic tissues are quite small. Okay, so which allows large number of cell division. Then their cytoplasm is quite dense. Okay, so they have a denser cytoplasm, which means that they contain many cell organelles. Okay, and they help them increase in the rate of respiration. So this is the next one. So this is option A, this is option B. Then option C says, so their cell wall is thin, which allows them to divide easily. Then fourth one is larger vacuoles let them break easily and give a mechanical support. So what is asked again? So incorrect statement is asked. Any idea which is the incorrect one? You can just mention the option there, like A, B, C or D. Okay, you need not type the whole answer. Okay, so you can just type it as A, B or maybe C, D. So whatever is the answer, so you can just type in there. Okay, so this one is yes. So this is larger vacuoles, let them break easily and give mechanical support. So this is the incorrect one because vacuole is absent. Okay, so there is no vacuole in case of the meristematic tissue. Okay, so meristematic tissue is not having a vacuole, but rest of the statement what are mentioned. So all these are correct, only this is the incorrect one. So this is the incorrect statement. Okay, so in that case you can see that the meristematic tissue, I'll just erase this part. So meristematic tissue as like these are quite small only, like you can find all the meristematic tissue to be small, so that when they divide, they can accommodate more and more space. Okay, and there is a continuous division that can be seen, so which allows a large number of cell division if a tiny cells are there. So basically more cell division you can see. Okay, so now other than that, their cytoplasm is quite dense, so that means you can see a nucleus, a larger nucleus. So in that you can find a cytoplasm which is present. Okay, so this cytoplasm will have much more cell organelles. Okay, so that means it is going to help in their rate of respiration, like you can find many of the mitochondria there. Okay, so as the mitochondria is having a role in cellular respiration. Okay, so there is a role of cellular respiration that you can find, so this can occur because of a mitochondria. All right, so then the cell wall is thin mentioned, so that is right. So that is making the plant to divide, like plant cell to divide easily. So let's have a look at this as well. So this is anyway from the permanent tissue section, which I'm not discussing in today's session, but you can just have a look at this. So simple permanent tissue, so there is a parenchyma you can see, so there is a collenchyma, then you can see there is a sclerenchyma. So these are the three types of tissues that you can find. So this is a simple. Okay, so why do we say simple? Because only one type of tissue you can find. Okay, so only one type of tissue can be seen here, so this we call as a simple permanent tissue. Okay, so if more than one type is there, so let's say more than one type of a tissue is found, so in that case more than one type. Okay, so in that case you can say that this is basically can be called as a complex permanent tissue. Okay, so this can be the complex permanent tissue. All right, so let's get with the next one. So here you can see parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. All right, so let's see this. So which among the following is not correct about the permanent tissue? So permanent tissues are formed from the meristem tissues that gradually lose their ability to divide and perform few other specific function. Okay, then simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissues, so these are classified based on their intercellular gaps. Is that right? So is simple permanent tissue and a complex permanent tissue classified based on their intercellular gap? Is that right? Then the next one is process by which meristem tissue gradually change to permanent tissue. Okay, and that we call as a differentiation. Okay, then permanent tissues are classified into simple and a complex permanent tissue. So these are the options given. Okay, so these are the options mentioned there. Okay, so out of these options, which is the wrong one, because it is always asked here about the incorrect one or not correct one. So you can read through the questions and inform me. No idea? Okay, so I'll explain. So simple permanent tissue and a complex permanent tissue, so these are classified on their intracellular gap or intercellular gap, which is absolutely wrong, because you can see here, I just told you in the previous slide also. So simple we say because only one type of a tissue you can find. So all of them are parenchyma here. Okay, so all of them could be collenchyma here. Okay, and all of them could be sclerenchyma here. Okay, so in that case you can find only one type of a tissue, so that is for a simple one. So complex permanent tissue, when we mention, so you can find more than one type of a tissue there. Okay, so what is that more than one type? So there can be xylem parenchyma, like so there can be parenchyma, there can be sclerenchyma, there can be collenchyma. So basically different tissues you can find. So based on that the classification is done. Just a second. Yeah, so based on that the classification is done, so not based on like what exactly is present. Okay, so in that case this could be the wrong one. So 1 second, so this is the one, so that is simple permanent tissue and a complex permanent tissues are classified based on the intercellular gap. So let's go with the next one. So which among the following are incorrect about the xylem? So complex permanent tissues are made of many types of cells and comprises of xylem and phloem. Okay, so this is again incorrect only they are asking. So this is the first option. Okay, so these are made of many types of cells, so comprises of xylem and phloem. So xylem and phloem are together termed as a vascular bundle. Okay, so this is called as a vascular bundle. So what is that vascular bundle? So xylem is there, phloem is there, so together we call it as a vascular bundle. Okay, so then there is the xylem contains mostly of a dead cell, helps in the conduction of water, minerals from root to the stem and the leaves. Okay, so this is the third option. And the fourth one, tracheids are the living cells that conduct water and minerals vertically. Okay, so tracheids are there, so these are the living cells which conduct the water and the mineral vertically is given. Okay, so this is the fourth one. So which is the right, which is the incorrect one. So which could be the right answer? So you need to mention which is incorrect statement in this. No idea? So this is the one. So tracheids, they have mentioned that they are living cells which are basically dead cells. Okay, so these are dead cells. So based on that we'll be giving this as a name, so all most of the xylem components. So xylem, when we mention exception is so xylem, most of them are dead. So except which one? The xylem parenchyma. Okay, so xylem parenchyma which is there, so this is a living one. Okay, so this one is actually a living one, rest of them are all dead. Okay, so moving on to next one, which among the following is incorrect about different cells in xylem? Yes, any idea? So which among the following is incorrect about different cells in a xylem? Alright, so tracheids are tubular structures, so which are made of dead cells, so that is without the protoplasm. Okay, so this is without, again incorrect itself. So tubular structures made of dead cells without the protoplasm, so this is one option. Next option is xylem vessels have lignified walls, so that is without the protoplasm. Okay, then yeah, so xylem fibers are perforated. Okay, so that is helping the conduction of water to the branches. So xylem parenchymatic tissues made of a thin wall living cells and conduct water sideways, which is the wrong one here. So no idea? None of you? Okay, so I cannot see your comments actually. Renal column. What is renal column? So I couldn't see your comments till now. Only I can see. Okay, so I did not notice your comments. I'm really sorry, because the chat section which I had opened, So I couldn't see anything, but now I can see everything. All right. So nobody except me in the class. Yes. So what is renal column? So renal is basically, in the kidney you can find that. So that is between the renal pyramid. Renal pyramid is there. Okay. So that is a renal column. So between that. Okay. So, okay. So this one is the answer for this is xylem parenchymatic tissue. So these are made of thin walled living cells and they conduct the water sideways. Okay. Okay, now only I am able to see your comments. So which among the following is incorrect about the different cells in the phloem? So this is with respect to phloem now. Okay. So phloem fibers are living cells with extremely thick cell walls and provide mechanical strength. So this is option A. So you can see option B here, option C here and option D here. Okay. So let's have a look at this. So phloem fibers are living cells with extremely thick cell walls and provide mechanical strength. So sieve tubes are tubular cells with perforated walls with large vacuole peripheral cytoplasm and without the nucleus. Okay. Then companion cells are specialized cells so that help in regulation of metabolic activity. Okay. So then other than that, the phloem parenchyma cells are elongated cylindrical cells that support sieve tube. So which is the wrong one here? So this is the incorrect one because you can see sieve tubes are tubular. So they are perforated, have large vacuole. Okay. So peripheral cytoplasm and without the nucleus. So this is mentioned. Then companion cells are specialized is mentioned. So that help in the regulation of metabolic activity. Phloem parenchyma are elongated. So phloem fiber, it is said living. Okay. So this is a dead cell. Okay. So fiber is basically a sclerenchyma. So sclerenchyma is a dead one. So we can say this is the answer. Alright then. Okay. So any of you, any doubt you guys have? All this while I couldn't see your comments. Now I can see this. Okay, let's see this. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So now Guardians batch. So this is they started on May 4th. But yes, you have an option to watch the recording. So you can watch the recordings of this session. And there are many more sessions which are yet to go live. So you can take up the live sessions also. And here the mode of delivery is English. So if you are subscribing for class 9, so you will be getting class 10, 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free with this. Okay. And Avengers batch is there. So this they started on May 11th. So here also again you have an option to watch the recordings, but yet yes, many more sessions which are yet to go live. So here in this the mode of delivery is English. So you can see this one. Alright, so again PCMB is covered in all of these. Okay, so here the PCMB, so here also PCMB subjects are covered, and with that you can, if you are subscribing for class 9, so you will be getting class 10, 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free. But now this is the best time that you can go with the offer with the referral code VANIYT. Okay, so this is the code, so you can use the code VANIYT. So this is the code you can use. So with this referral code you will be getting 20% discount, and today this offer is gonna end. Okay, so in that case what you can do is you need to apply the code, and since this is the very beginning of your class 9, so you can also go with 24 months of subscription or maybe 12 months of subscription. So this is completely your choice. Okay, so now there is a new price that is coming from 20th, tomorrow onwards. So this is the lowest ever price that you can get on Unacademy. And you can see here the price is basically 17,250, which is actually just 12k you are paying today. So that is for offer is going to end today. Okay, so you will be saving up to 5,250. So if you're planning for the subscriptions, you can go with the subscription right away, because this is the best month, like best offer that you can go with, and this is the lowest ever price. So you can talk to your parents, and don't forget to mention the code there, because only with the code you will be getting this offer. So plan, like you need to take the subscription today itself, because today is the offer. This is gonna, like this offer is gonna end. So from tomorrow onwards we have a new prices. All right, so you can see here, so these are the new prices mentioned, so you can go for the subscription today. All right, so how you can watch my special classes? All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app. All right, so click on the app, and click on get started. So once you once you download, so you can open and click on the get started. Then you can enter your mobile number, you can sign up using your email ID. So you need to go for the class, you can find two of them, that is the competitive exam section and class 6 to 12. So you can go with this one. Then you will find the ICSE category there, so ICSE class 9 or ICSE class 10, that you can find it. So you can select your class, then you can select your preferred language, like if you prefer to go in English or maybe Hindi or a English. Okay, so go to the description of this video, you will find a link to a special class. Then click on notify me, you will get notified about the session, that is 10 minutes before. So we have different themed questions that are going on. So morning classes are also going on, like summer special classes, so you can take up those sessions as well. So you can also use my code. So this is my code Vani YT. Okay, so with this code you can get, so on one side, so basically you will be getting 20% discount, as there is an offer going on. Okay, so you can use this code. On the other side, so basically many free products are there on Unacademy platform, so you can unlock many of the free products using the Vani YT. Okay, all right, so before I end this session, so you can subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the classes. Like and share the video, and download the Unacademy Learner app. So if you need this PDF, so you can just text me on my Telegram, so that is Vani Kari. So you can join the Telegram link, you need to search Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. Okay, so you can just search this class 9 and 10 biology, you can search and join my Telegram channel. So you can just tell me there, if you need the PDF, so you can just tell me there, so I'll be sending it there. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone, thank you so much, take care.